Welcome to MMT Chats. This episode brought to you by ISCAR, with new ideas for machining intelligently. Welcome to the MMT studio. I'm Christina Fuges with MoldMaking Technology, and today I am here with DiLaura with Mantle 3D, or is it just Mantle?
It's just Mantle, but
okay,
we answer to Mantle 3D as well.
Okay, and Hillary Thomas with Westminster Tool. So I think I want to start off with, I got a news release today. So I think we need to start out, we're here at a trade show.
Yeah.
We want to talk about new stuff related to MoldMaking technology. We can't not talk about a news release. So what is the new technology that is impacting Mantle's 3D printing technology?
Sure, thanks Christina. So today we announced that we released a high precision shaping package that basically improves the sharpness of the features that we're able to produce with the Mantle technology. It's actually 70% improvement compared to what it was before.
Wow.
What that means is we're using now smaller cutters, smaller ball mills, end mills in our process, now as small as 6 thou, which leaves a 3 thou radius. So essentially comparable to what you get from EDM, but we're doing that with a metal printing technology.
Okay.
And this was based in large part based on feedback from companies like Westminster, who we've been working with through our beta program, who continue to push us to develop more and more advanced capabilities, and we announced that this morning that we're now delivering this.
That's great. So let's go back a little bit. So. Yeah. There's a lot of talk in the 3D printing and the metal space. Can you give us a little snapshot of how is Mantle's technology different from others on the market?
Sure, there are a few things. One of the key differences is the only thing we're focused on is tool making. So our technology was developed for improving the way that molding components, tool components, are built, making it faster and in many cases less expensive than how they're made traditionally. So everything we developed is to serve that goal, and that means we have tool steels. We have H13 tool steel, for example. That's relatively unique. And then really what's unique from a technology perspective is the level of precision that we're able to achieve. So the surface finish, the accuracy, and the fine features and sharp details that we're able to produce right out of our printer are considerably different and better than other metal printing technologies. Yeah. And that's important for tool making because it means then that tool makers can take inserts that have been produced with our technology and with very small amount of final finishing work, drop it into a mold frame and begin molding.
Perfect. All right, so let's move over to you, Hillary.
Okay.
So pretty much the same question. How did you connect with Mantle in particular when there's so many other options out there?
Yeah, so we've been watching the metal additive space for probably, at this point, 5-10 years. And really, it's been improving, but nothing really solved any problems for us. It was cool technology, it was cool you printed metal, but it didn't fit into a tool maker's needs. And a lot of that was due to tolerances, it was due to porosity, it was due to the lack of stability in the steel. So when you actually went to machine them, it took more work to do the final finishing than just doing it traditionally. Yep. And so that was really what made us really interested in Mantles. We actually did a blind test of their steel with our CNC team, and they had to make no to minimal changes on how they machined it. And it held its flatness. So once that happened, we were like, okay, this is game changing, let's go. And so we've been working together since 2019, and the product we're working with today is much different than I would say what we started with in 2019.
So that's the key, working together. So many times technology is developed for a customer with, I guess, a lot of assumptions, but you work together. So go into that a little bit more. What did that look like?
Sure. So we as a company have been around for about 10 years, excuse me, about 7 years. The first 5 of those years, we didn't work with, we were very quiet about what we were doing and worked with just a couple of companies, including Westminster, to give us feedback on the requirements of the tool making industry. Because we knew from the beginning that we wanted to develop a solution to a real problem within tool making, improve the process of the way that tooling components are made. And so we worked with a few companies to make sure that what we were developing met their needs. And then the relationship between our companies has grown over the years, where now Westminster received our first beta system, which we installed last June. And then after a period of installation and training, which took about a week and a half or so, then Westminster's been using our technology in their own building and away from Mantle since that time, and then giving us great feedback on things that we need to improve and giving us feedback on how they're using it and now deploying it with their customers.
Got it. All right, so how is it integrated into Westminster? training involved, and like where does that sit today in that shop?
Yeah, so this is actually a lot of what we're covering tomorrow in our Tech Talk. So I would say one of the biggest things is how seamlessly we were able to get it up and running and cross-train people. Then that's in two ways. The first is that my entire sales and engineering team, there's 8 of us, we can all quote Mantle utilizing their software. So it was very seamless. It's an easy to access and easy to operate software so that we can accurately understand what the cost and lead time of printing something is going to be. We don't have years of experience knowing exactly how much paste something's going to use, and so having that exposure has been great, and the fact that I have 8 people who can support our customers in understanding the strengths and weaknesses of this technology for their applications quickly is key. And then we've cross-trained 5 people on the floor in order to prepare the base, prepare the material, and basically click go, more or less, on the machine. It's as simple as that. The software is designed to reduce the programming, so it chooses the cutters and everything needed in order to accomplish the geometries that you're looking to do. And so that is very different from what we've had at Westminster Tool in the past, where we've had to do a lot of heavy lifting in order to get people up to speed, and Mantle has taken care of a lot of that, not only with their documentation and things, but their software and technology as a whole.
So what has your customers' response been?
Yeah, everybody has been very impressed. I think people are still very hesitant, and once they get parts in their hands, they almost always are like, wow, really? And so we did a medical device like development tool, and they kind of threw it off like, yeah, I just want to try the technology. And they saw it and they were like, wow, wait, can you just mold me my next 1,500 parts that I need for biocomp testing? Because they thought it was just going to be a throwaway part. And in 3.5 weeks, we had flash-free parts, and this was a part that had 64 swipe-by shutoffs.
Oh my gosh.
So an extremely complex, and I think naturally people see it and are like, okay, sure, and then they get it in their hands and they're just blown away.
I love it, like you're finally proving it out. Because there's still so many barriers to people even wanting to try it. Like you're saying, all that hype is still out there.
Yes.
So it's wonderful to hear like real world stories that you're willing to share about too.
Yes, and I would say we work together a lot. There's a lot of people who come to us, and they've supported us and vice versa, where we'll talk to people who are looking at, do they want a machine? I mean, there's this is applicable to all of tool making. Some people are going to bring the technology in and some aren't, and so that's, I'd say, the biggest thing that we've had to work on is building confidence in people about the technology. What are the things you got to consider in terms of outsourcing that service, right? Or making that full investment to bring it in-house? How did you make that decision? So I think, and you can probably piggyback off of me, but I think a big thing is your ability to bring it full circle. So I think that there's some companies who might not have a robust tooling room where you still might do some finished geometry. Based on the changes they've made, we're getting closer and closer and closer to finished geometry. But if you want to have a really, if you have a complex shut-off surface, or you really want to make sure that you have flash-free parts, those are things that you still need to do some post-processing to. And so if a company didn't have any of that, so for example, if a contract manufacturer's tool room only does cleaning and maintenance, it's going to take more investment than just a Mantle machine. But for some companies, off of the printer is sufficient and there isn't much to do, and maybe you can elaborate on some of those.
Yeah, absolutely. I think very well said. I think the other variable is just how much volume a company has, how many tools and tooling components they produce every year. If it's a relatively small number, then it may not make sense to bring in Mantle in-house, because there just may not be the quantity to justify the investment in Mantle. And therefore, working with a company like Westminster or others to produce components for them instead of bringing the Mantle technology in-house makes a lot of sense.
It does make sense. All right. Last but not least, it is our 25th anniversary. So I have to ask you guys, this is our infamous top 10 reasons to be a MoldMaker t-shirt. I'm not going to ask you what your top 10 reason is, because I didn't prepare you for that. But I do want to ask you two things. What excites you about the future of mold making, like the next 25 years first?
Okay, so for me, I think it's what the next generation is going to do. I think that we are in a changing period. I think that tool making and life as we know tool making is in a pivotal moment of change right now, with the adoption of technology and the forward thinking, and I think we're finally integrating into the advanced space that all of our customers and competitors around us are. So I'm really excited for that, and just what the next generation can do. They're opening our eyes to things that may have been forgotten or overseen historically.
Got it, got it. You, Paul.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with what Hillary said, and I think there's just a tremendous opportunity for, as a new generation comes in, and a huge amount of opportunity to automate the toolmaking process and kind of take it into a digitized future. And I think that's consistent with what a lot of people want to do in terms of doing more toolmaking domestically, doing more toolmaking in-house or close to where production takes place and where the customers are. And in order to do that efficiently and effectively, automation can have a big role in that. And so I think there's just going to be continued all sorts of new developments in the next 25 years to make toolmaking even more capable, more powerful, and also more automated.
And more attractive to the next generation.
Yes, definitely.
Right? All right, last question. Why, to you, why does mold making matter? Mold making matters.
Mold making matters because without it, we could not get a large portion of the things that make up our day-to-day life. I can list probably 20 things this morning that were made in a mold. My makeup, my water bottle, my pen. I mean, so the things that we are doing every day and the fact that we are able to consume those in an affordable manner is driven by molds. And so I will say that technology is great, but your ability to get something in your hands at an affordable price is largely driven by a mold's ability to help you get that.
All right, Paul, want to give it a go?
Sure. So, mold making just powers so much of the economy, right? As Hillary mentioned, all the things around us that are made from molds, our world would be vastly different if we didn't have molds. And not only that, it's the people and the companies that make the molds that it matters. It matters. It's a big part of the economy, and it's a big part of people's lives. The fact that molds are made and the fact that they continue to be made in a just incredibly impressive ways impacts people's lives.
Yeah, there you have it from Paul and Hillary. Thank you so much, you two.
Thanks.
And for everything mold making, visit moldmakingtechnology.com.